Most people dream of adventure. I only wanted to finish my archaeology degree. But when Professor Hamid invited me to join his team on an expedition to an unopened Egyptian tomb, I felt an excitement I'd never experienced before. He said the discovery could be historic, but he didn't mention the warnings carved at the entrance. We arrived at the desert site after sunset, when the dunes glowed under a pale moon. The entrance to the tomb had been sealed with massive stone slabs, untouched for thousands of years. Strange hieroglyphs covered the surface, symbols of protection, curses, and something else I didn't recognize. They looked more like scratches than writing, as if someone had carved them in a hurry. Inside, the air was thick and unmoving. Our lanterns cast long shadows against the ancient walls, revealing murals of a tall masked figure standing above kneeling crowds. But what bothered me wasn't the artwork. It was the sensation that we were not alone, that the darkness itself was watching. The deeper we went, the stronger the feeling grew. And then I heard it. A whisper. Soft, breathless, coming from the shadows behind me. I turned quickly, but nothing was there. The others brushed it off, saying the wind sometimes echoed strangely underground. But this was no wind. It sounded like a voice trying to speak my name. We reached the main chamber just before midnight. In the center stood a massive stone sarcophagus decorated with golden patterns and a symbol resembling an eye with 3 slashes across it. Professor Hamid explained that this tomb belonged to Anuket Sekem, an ancient priestess rumored to have forbidden powers. According to legend, she could command the dead. The professor didn't believe in curses, so he immediately ordered us to open the sarcophagus. I hesitated. Something about the room felt wrong, too cold, too still. But curiosity pushed us forward. When the lid finally slid open, dust swirled into the air. Inside lay a perfectly preserved mummy, wrapped in darkened linen. Her hands were crossed over her chest, and her face, though hidden, seemed twisted beneath the cloth as if frozen in rage. Suddenly, the ground trembled. A lantern shattered. The temperature dropped so sharply that frost formed on my sleeves. And behind me, that same whisper returned, closer, clearer, this time unmistakably calling my name. We scrambled to gather our equipment, but before we could climb the stairs, a deep thud echoed through the chamber. The heavy stone door we used to enter had slammed shut by itself. Everyone panicked. Professor Hamid shouted instructions, but the whispers drowned him out. They were everywhere now, above us, around us, inside our heads. Some of the team ran into the tunnels, their screams swallowed by the dark. I stayed frozen, staring at the sarcophagus, because the mummy was no longer lying inside it. The linen-wrapped figure stood upright at the far end of the chamber, her head tilted unnaturally to the side. The bandages around her face began to peel back on their own, revealing hollow black sockets where eyes should have been. Yet I felt her staring straight into my soul. Her arm lifted stiff and cracking, pointing directly at me. I backed away until my legs hit the wall. My heart was pounding so loudly I couldn't hear anything else. The mummy stepped forward, each movement releasing a sickening crunch, like ancient bones grinding together. "Leave," the voice echoed deep inside my skull. "Or join me." I didn't wait to understand. I ran. I sprinted down the tunnel, following the faint glow of a fallen lantern. The whispers screamed behind me, chasing me through the darkness. The walls shook, sand pouring from the ceiling. Just when I thought I was trapped forever, a rush of cool air hit my face. The tomb's entrance had cracked open. I burst outside and collapsed on the sand, gasping. The night was still, silent, but when I looked back, I saw a shadow standing just inside the doorway, tall, wrapped, motionless, watching me leave. We sealed the tomb the next day. Most of the team refused to return, claiming the desert itself wanted the place buried forever. I didn't argue. But even now, years later, I hear that same whisper when I'm alone, soft, cold, calling my name, as if the mummy is still searching, still waiting, and still wanting me to return.